Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Smash and Chat podcast. I'm Midnight. I'm your host, and joining me today is my awesome co-host, Subside.
Hello.
So, I guess we can. We don't really need to sugarcoat this. This is going to be a bit of a weird episode. I don't know if weird's the right word for it, but
It's going to be different.
it's going to be very different.
Yeah.
So right up front, I think I can speak for both of us when we say that the stuff we're going to be talking about in this podcast is very serious. It's very uncomfortable to talk about. And that's probably going to be reflective in some maybe our hesitation, or like we might not be saying exactly the right, when we say things, we might not be saying it perfectly correct, I guess. It's hard to put together words during this current scenario.
So please,
but we're gonna try our best. Yeah.
Please try to bear with us.
So, yeah, and just know that if we say something wrong, then it's not because we're still trying to process what's going on. So this may be difficult. Anyway, as far as what we're talking about. These past couple of days, it's actually pretty interesting too, because we normally record these podcasts on Wednesdays. However, yesterday I was sick, so we called to record the podcast tomorrow or today on Thursday. And it's interesting that if we had recorded yesterday, this podcast may have sounded completely different than what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Which is, because since from Wednesday afternoon to now, which about in Thursday afternoon, there have been a lot of many serious allegations being said against, or exposing, I guess is a better word, a lot of high up members in the Smash community, a lot of notable figures. And going into this, I wasn't sure if I wanted to actually say the names of these people. But I mean, at this point, if you're watching this and you follow the Smash community and the competitive scene at all, you probably already know who we're talking about. So I guess there's no really point in not saying them. So also, I apologize. We don't have because there are so many cases. I'm sure there are also a lot of people who have less notoriety. So if we don't hit everyone, then we also sincerely apologize. It's not our intention. But from what we have here and what we know today, some notable figures that have had allegations put against them. Probably the biggest, not even probably, the biggest Smash streamer, pro player in terms of just how well known he is, Nairo MK. He's been exposed by Captain Zach, which we'll get into later. We'll go through these, I guess, in separate cases. Keitaro, a very well-known Smash commentator and personality. D1, another very well-known Smash commentator personality. Cinnpie, another, sounds like broken record, another very well-known commentator and personality. Who else are we not taking here?
I think the point is that there's a lot of notable figures in the Smash community that are being exposed for their past actions right now throughout this week. And I just want to make the point that what we say here, we are not trying to spread false information, but if we do say anything that is not correct, we apologize, as we don't know everything about all these cases, and we will do our best to clarify and correct anything that we say wrong in this podcast.
Yeah, but that being said, a lot of things we do talk about, though, it's not like we're not sure if like it's not that like there for most of these cases there is like legitimate evidence.
Yes, I agree.
That like the stuff happened. So we're not really grasping at straws here.
Yeah,
this is just what we've seen. So we're gonna try to be as informative as possible. So that being said, I guess we can get the big one. We can start with the big one. Nairo. And I guess this was, geez, what time did this even happen? Like for me, I mean, Eastern time, it was past midnight, so like very early in the morning, I think. At least that's when I saw it. I don't know when it actually came out.
Yeah, for me, it was like a little bit before midnight, but like I was like watching a movie like with some of my friends, and then right after the movie, like I checked Twitter, and like it just blew up, and it was a complete shock to me to see that Nairo, who used to be one of my favorite top players and streamer, has like sexually assaulted a minor, and like at first I just couldn't believe it at all, and I just it's been pretty hard, but I'm sure it's for not me, as hard for other people.
For as far as my experience seeing this come out, I just remember I was playing some games with my friends. I was actually playing some Valorant, and once everyone got off, it was pretty late. I was pretty tired, and then I checked my phone usually before I go to bed. Open Twitter, and in my timeline, I started seeing Nairo's name appear a bunch. Like there wasn't any context behind the tweets, like of I forgot who was the first person. It was probably like Cola or Dark Wizzy. They were very vocal about this stuff, but I saw Nairo's name come up a lot, and I was like, wait, what? What's going on? What happened to Nairo? And like as I'm scrolling down, I start seeing like, people saying like, like screw Nairo. It's like all these, all these things about him, these negative things about him. And then I'm just thinking like, oh my goodness, like please tell me like this isn't true. And like I keep scrolling down until I finally get to the, the source of all these threads in a twitlonger from Captain Zach. And naturally when you see a twitlonger link, and his twitlonger was captioned or titled, I'm tired of living a life of lies. And at that point I already kind of knew what was like what to be expected. Like, but at the same time, when I actually read over the entire thing, I was absolutely speechless. I could not.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just like, for me, like not Nairo, for not just for me, for a lot of people, I'm assuming, for thousands of people, I'm assuming, like Nairo is just such an inspiration, like in the Smash community. He was such like a pillar of the community, and like he was like I'm not trying, like obviously my intention is not to give praise to someone who's done terrible things, but it's undeniable that like he was the most well-recognized Smash Ultimate player, and I don't really think that's up for debate. And to see someone that like well-known and respected within the Smash community just like get outed like this, and for this and like all this stuff to come out about him, and just seeing the kind of person that he really was, it's like it's just heartbreaking, because like to a lot of people, even to me too, like he was like, I mean, not to sound overly dramatic, but he was like an idol. He was like a hero to a lot of people. Just like seeing someone just succeed at to succeed at Smash so well, and like have such a like a charming personality and funny dude on being funny on stream. It wasn't, his stuff was entertaining to watch, and it's just like I can never watch any of these, like, well, obviously, his his Twitch is done. He's not streaming again. But like, you know, to see like the past VODs or videos, like I just can't, like, you can't look at it like the same way ever again. And I just had, so like, for a personal note, I just like watching these videos when I come back from school, or like, you know, turning on the streams and like hang out and chat, like these memories of like just, you know, kind of like a safe place and like a place to like kind of enjoy Smash for what it is, the game for what it is. I can never, like, that, it's just gone forever, and it's something that it's hard to come to terms with, but you know, at the end of the day, it's not like this is bigger than a video game. Like, this is not like some, like the emotional, like, and like the traumatic hardships that Captain Zack had to endure all these years because of Nairo, like that just automatically, like, doesn't, like, all of the like the things, the content that, and like the enjoyment of watching one player play Smash Bros, all of that doesn't matter. Not even like a molecule of that matters at this point, because we just can't have that, like, we can't have that within the Smash community. It's unacceptable. We can't have that, just like, period. So yeah, for me, that was my personal take, my kind of I guess, like, my take on the whole Nairo situation.
I think like what we need to learn from, like I used to idolize Nairo too. Like, he's actually like one of the reasons why I wanted to play competitive Smash. I watched him back, like I watched him for at least 5 years. I tuned into like one of his streams, and I really enjoyed them. And ever since then, I thought of him as like a role model. Like, I wanted to be like as good as him. And like what we need to learn from, like, what I think what we need to learn from this is that you need to like be very careful on who you look up to and who you want to be, and like who you idolize or see as a role model, because you honestly can never know like who they truly are. Like, I knew him, like I knew Nairo as Nairo, but like his actions, like that's something completely different from like what I saw as him. And like, I think this needs to be said for like a bunch of people that you look up to. You just have to be careful who you idolize.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you know, we obviously, like, you know, no one could have really seen, like, at least people who aren't in, like, you know, kind of like the inner circle, like within like the Smash community, no one could have, you know, foreseen this coming. So I don't know, like, if you want to read the Captain Zack's tweet longer, I'll leave a link in the description, because like it's not our place to like Captain Zack, he gave all the information that you need to, you know, if you're interested in knowing what happened, then you can it's easily accessible. But it's just it's a tough read. So it's a tough read. But it's, you know, it's very detailed. And it's hard to, I mean, it's not arguable at this point. I mean, Nairo essentially he admitted.
Yeah, he admitted
to do,
it.
you know, this stuff is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no debate here. There's no like, and that's another thing that's also pretty disgusting. I've seen like a lot of people like come at Captain Zack, like blaming him of all people for like, you know, destroying Nairo's career. And like,
no, he like, after what he did, it was gonna happen. Like, it was gonna happen eventually. Like, after I think it was like about 3 years, Nairo tried to like he paid him to keep quiet about it. And like, that, like, I have no idea like how Captain Zack felt during those 3 years, but it must have been really, really hard. And he is really brave, and I'm really proud of him too. To finally like come out and tell his story, because after something like that, it needed to, like, he needed to be out of the Nairo needs to be out of the community.
Yeah, I don't think it is it's there's going to be a lot of opinions on this matter, and there so many people, like, and everyone within the Smash community, I feel like, is giving their opinions on this matter, like we are right now. And I think at the, like, it's throughout this, it's kind of really showing like who people are, like what they're like what they prioritize. I think like people, all these people defending the actions of like the all these like predators, like essentially, I mean, that's literally what they are, predators. Like the people defending it just like in hopes that they can like hold on to that like enjoyment of Smash. Like that's
not right.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. Again, at the end of the day, it's Smash Ultimate. While it brings a lot of people joy, I mean, it's a video game. It's not like this stuff matters so much more
than the game itself. Yeah, this is way more important than your enjoyment of like seeing someone play or just watching a video game.
Yeah. So I guess one more personal, personal thing that I wanted to bring up about the Nairo situation before we stop talking about this part is I guess it's funny because like after I couldn't sleep well at all after seeing all this stuff come out.
Yeah.
And when when I can't sleep or when I'm feeling down, what I like to do is I like to play video games, and I wanted to play Smash Ultimate because, I mean, for one, none of my friends were online at that hour, so I could have to play a game by myself. But also because I just wanted to like, I wanted to just like be reminded of how that Smash Ultimate can be such a source of good. It should be a source of good. And I played some online matches, and obviously I've said this before on the podcast. I'm a Palutena main, and it really was like started to like. It was like really, it's really hard for like because I wanted to main Palutena from the start because of Nairo, because I wanted to like. I saw Palutena and it was so much fun to watch, and I thought like I wanted to be like him. And since that day, so I started making Palutena, I'd always pick the black dress, the same skin that Nairo picks, the same costume. And when I was playing online, I just couldn't pick that costume anymore. And honestly, I don't think I'll ever pick that one again. And every time I play it, it's gonna like. I'm gonna be reminded, just a reminder of that. Like sometimes, like you have to let go of the things that like you thought you once cared about, because like sometimes you think you know someone, but you don't. And obviously, like we have very little affiliation. In fact, not very little. We have zero affiliation with any like the top players. But like. I think going forward, it's a good lesson to be reminded. Just don't, like, the people you look up to, whether it be in esports or just in general. Like, you can look up to them, but you may not like to see who the person they truly are. So
yeah, like there's a reason why we call them personalities, because they are like putting up a, like, I wouldn't say an act, but like I wouldn't be like, I'm pretty sure that they do act different on like when they're streaming than like, than off stream, or like when they're with their close friends.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's it does there. I saw a tweet from I don't think it was a tweet directly from him, but I think it might have been Locust who retweeted or something. But it was a clip from Ludwig Ogren's stream, and he was talking. He's just pretty much he said that the point was that like there will always be like great video game players. Like there will always be these people like Nairo. So him like being, gone from the scene, like we shouldn't really dwell over that. We shouldn't miss that, because someone better will take his place. So I think there's some solace in knowing that, as the community gets cleaned, more, in hopefully, and I really mean hopefully, we're going to see a lot more positive role models and people to look up to going forward. Okay. So next up, we can talk about I guess we can just kind of Keitaro, D1, and Cinnpie, because they're all casters, commentators, personalities. Plus, I'm not trying to talk 20 minutes on each of them. Like, I'm not like, again, this is all stuff that most people probably already know by now. So at this point, we're just kind of giving our own personal thoughts on it, which isn't extremely important. But we just, for our sake, it feels good to be able to talk about this openly.
Yeah. Like I feel like we both needed to get this out to each other.
Yeah.
Or at least to someone.
Man, it's so weird too, because like, I don't know, it's just funny. It's funny. It's like all these weird small coincidences that, like, literally in our second episode, in our like most recent podcast episode before this one, literally in the intro sequence that we do, where we always have
I saw it.
We have the clips of the or like audio clips of like these hype tournament moments. As I did that purposely to try as kind of like a tribute and an homage to like all of, like, to remind us why Smash Ultimate is so cool. And in that audio clip, it was with the two casters casting that moment between Tweak and MKLeo at Frostbite 20. I think it was 2019. It was, wouldn't you know it was D1 and Keitaro, two of the people that recently been exposed. So Keitaro and D1 both have been accused of. I think they're both like rape, right? Like,
yeah, they
underage.
they were accused of having sex with a minor.
What was it? Okay, I know Keitaro's was. I don't remember if it was. I can't remember if D1's was underage or if it was just.
I don't.
Or if it wasn't, but whatever. It's not. That's not important. It's just the fact that they both did some pretty messed up things, and it's like, it's so crazy because like D1 Keitaro, like, they're not players, but like they're still more well known, and like within the community, they were like they were like, I mean, obviously not discrediting like Black Plague, E, and TK Breezy and Coney, all great casters. We love them. But like D1 Keitaro, like they were like the voices of Smash. Like a lot of like all these past moments. Like honestly, I also I have a collection too of all these like audio clips from these tournament moments that I was going to use going forward. For the intro, and like so many of them just has either or both of, Keitaro and D1, and that just goes to show like it's like it not only does it hurt now, but it's like it's gonna hurt like going forward, like when we look back at these moments and like just hearing their voices and knowing that like
And knowing like what they did.
yeah. Yeah, and they were more well known and respected, like even more so than a lot of like top like competitors, like actual players, which like speaks to like their position in the community. And two more big icons like that again had a lot of that inspired a lot of people. And it's like, man, it also made me really sad to think about like back during the whole like Etika situation, God rest his soul. Like I still like I remember these clips of like Keitaro and like D1 just saying like, oh, it's like saying that like they're gonna miss, they'll miss the Etika, and they're gonna, they would strive to be these like positive forces going forward, so that stuff like that won't happen again. And it's just like, it pains me to think that like, they just did not uphold these promises, like, and they knew it. Like, I don't know if this is before or after these events happened. Probably after, honestly, which makes it even worse when you think about it. That it's, I don't know. It's just surprising because like the thing about the Smash community is that like if you like a week ago, like if you took Nairo, D1, Keitaro, like of all the people you would expect stuff like this, like all this stuff to come out against, like I would never have guessed in a million years that they would be on the top of the list. Because there aren't really any bad, like, at least it didn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like there were many like genuine, like, bad people within like the top level of Smash play. Like, we thought they were all respectful and like good human beings. So seeing all this stuff about them, it hurts. It really does.
Yeah, it's so weird, man. It's like I actually just don't know what to say at this point. Like, probably as we're like, definitely many more people are going to come out and tell their stories, and that is great. That's exactly what like, that should be normalized. Like, if you have something to say and you're a victim, you should say it and get like these predators, these abusers, just get them out of the community. Like, they don't deserve to be here.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like because as more stories emerge and more victims come out, it really makes you wonder like who within the community like is still out there getting away with this stuff, and like, but the victims of these people of maybe they're not brave enough to come out about these stories, and who can blame them? These people are in like such high positions, like they have influence, and like it's like just like really, it's hard to think about because I'm sure there are other people that we don't know about that have done terrible things, and this stuff may never come out, and hopefully it does, but it's that in itself is very it's very sad.
Yeah, like I think like right now, like this week in this community, it's a turning point. And I remember like sometime last year, I do remember that these incidents, specifically regarding Cinnpie and Nairo, these incidents did surface, and what like and like at first people just dismissed them and they didn't believe them. And that's like part of the problem, that like it's part of why victims are scared to come out with with their stories, because they fear that they won't be taken seriously. They won't be People won't believe them. They're saying, they're basically telling they're basically being told that their truth isn't true at all, even after they go through something like that. And right now, with everyone, um with all these victims coming out, like this is something that we need. And I think this is gonna be an eye opener to the community, and a lot of um a lot of people and organizations have already taken action on like how they're going to um regulate tournaments and like put strict rules from now on, like when events come back. Like uh, like from what I saw, like what Leffen said, he said like this isn't a bad week for the Smash community, but rather a good one, because we are getting all of these, like we're doing like a cleanse to this community, getting all these evil predators out. And right now we're gonna strive to improve it.
Yeah, I think hopefully long term, it's stuff like this will help the community. But it's, it's also, can't ignore the fact that like all this stuff is getting a decent amount of like like publicity, and it's like this stuff like Smash Bros, like as a community, like we're trending like crazy on Twitter right now,
Yeah.
about all these bad things. And just like it's this issue, these issues aren't even contained to just within the Smash community. I know it's really bad right now, but like just the FGC community, and even just the video game world as a whole, has just been like, it's everyone like all these like stories of these terrible things like have been coming out. And it's gonna be hard to look back on this and like not think about like, video games should be a source of enjoyment and fun and positivity, but like more than ever, we have to come to terms with the fact that like there's also a lot of bad things going on within the video game community, even though like shouldn't be the case. But anyway, I also want to actually, like I think it was like just like an hour or so ago, 2GG Gaming or 2GG, they recently announced that the following people are going to be banned from all future events. And these people include Nairo, Keitaro, D1, Cinnpie, S2H, and Zax.
Yeah.
And I think that was like, that was gonna happen. Like it was only a matter of time. I'd assume all the other major tournament organizations will follow suit, and so we can lay that finally to rest. Like at least justice has. I mean, obviously, like to at least within the Smash community, justice has been served. Obviously, like for this kind of serious stuff, like you can even ask yourself like how, like, should this further extend into the court of law, which that remains to be seen. But yeah, I think at least it's safe to say that they're all they're done within the Smash,
Yeah.
the world of Smash. I don't see none of them can, should, and likely ever will recover from this in terms of their image. And like, yeah, it's just that's it.
Yeah, and like basically,
We can wipe our hands clean.
and like basically, like all there is left is like whether to see if they go to jail or not. And for me personally, I think they should, because like yeah, this like they literally committed a crime against a minor even, and that is unacceptable. It's like
Yeah, it's I don't know though. Like it stuff like that. I don't know. Considering it was like this stuff happened years ago. I don't know how like that might affect like a decision, like a legal decision. But I agree with you 100% though. Like
yeah,
there should be some actual like real life consequence.
yeah, yeah.
It's just like these tournament bans. Like that's just like
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's gonna happen. That doesn't do like I mean I doubt they'd even show up anyway, even if they weren't banned. So like
Mm-hmm.
what does that really do at the end of the day? It doesn't really.
Yeah, like the bans should be the bare minimum, and like yeah, and I agree. Like real life consequences, these need to happen. It's
Like a much better punishment, honestly, than the bans is the fact that their orgs, their you know, their respective orgs have all like
yeah,
cut ties with them.
yeah,
So at least financially speaking, that should act as some punishment.
mm-hmm.
I don't think NRG officially announced it, but I mean obviously.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they did.
Oh, did they actually
they
release
did.
a statement?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I take that back. Never mind. Okay, and we can. Oh yeah, I was complete with it among the list of names. Not on the 2GG announcement yet, but we also forgot to mention that I guess recently, even today, another allegation came out against Anti. Or actually, well, two different allegations. First of which I think Anti denied, and he gave a statement about supposedly claiming his innocence. I read through both the victim and Anti's statements, and considering the fact that there's another statement allegation from another individual about like inappropriate behavior, it's I find it hard to believe that Anti is innocent. So if that's assuming that's the case, that's yet another notable figure who will get banned from tournaments. Who's T1 cut ties with him as well.
Yeah,
and I don't think he's also he's not gonna recover either, nor should he. And finally, we can talk about Cinnpie quickly, which was actually in chronological order. I think she was one of the first major figures before all these other guys to get outed. And this one is very shocking. Puppe came out with this statement about how I forget how old, 14 I think.
yeah,
Puppe,
it was,
like
14. Yeah,
and she was like
14.
20.
She was 24.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I see like the
I
pictures
can't
too of
believe
like
that.
the age difference.
yeah, and like I've seen like someone compiled like a video of like a VOD where you could clearly see like how she's been grooming him, and like how how they acted. It's not okay. Like that is clear evidence on like what was going on, and wow.
Yeah, that was super. That video was super like creepy to watch, and like
Yeah.
even people seeing those videos at the time probably didn't think much of it because like without any context, it's kind of hard to tell like what's going on. But knowing what we know now and seeing that is it was pretty disturbing, and like that's probably doesn't even scratch the surface of what actually went on like behind closed doors either. So which is like crazy to think about. And it's just also nuts that like Cinnpie, like she straight up denied the allegation, and like I also remember seeing later on in the day someone, I don't remember who, but someone brought up that there was like a secret relationship between Nairo and Captain Zack, and then Captain Zack he rebuked that statement, and Nairo also did. Nairo also denied that, saying that he had oh, this is all, it was made up. It was just trying to tarnish my image. Like, I had gone through all the right, like people and made sure that's like this kind of false allegation didn't like have an impact. And later on, we found out that like all of that like was like Captain Zack only rebuked that because like Nairo like was pressuring him to.
Yep.
And like
that's terrible. It's
just it's insane. The like these people do such bad, like, honestly, it's like weird to think, like, I guess at least at the very least, Keitaro and D1 kind of like at least admitted to it. I think in their statements they didn't they worded their statements, I feel like, though, to like try and cast, a decent amount of the blame on the victim too, like as to not like entirely put themselves at fault, but like, I mean, they're like in all these cases, like they are, they're they're adults, and having all these incidents with minors, like that's that's their responsibility. They should know better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I think also going forward, if we want to avoid this kind of stuff happening in the future, like there needs to be much stricter, like attention put on minors attending tournaments. Like we can't just have like minors just hanging out and going around with adults, like without any sort of parental supervision. And I think the fact that no safeguards are put in place for that like led to a lot of these cases, and it's very unfortunate. And also, take alcohol out of Smash tournaments. I think even if none of this stuff came out, I just still think that should have been common sense. Yeah. Like I feel like that only can lead to bad things. I mean, that's not to say like, I mean, I'm over 21, so I can, I can legally drink, but at least like like at least most people should be aware that like being able to purchase alcohol at these like public like events, conventions, and all that stuff, like surrounded by minors, like a lot of young individuals, that can lead to serious problems, and we're seeing that now. So I think that's one of the things that really needs to be changed going forward for like offline tournaments when they come back. So anyway, getting off topic for a second, we can finish up about Cinnpie. I think the fact that like I'm not sure if she's admitted to any wrongdoing yet.
I don't think she has put a statement like she's just staying quiet as far as I know. I'm actually not sure if she put a statement out or anything, but like, yeah, like she's been quiet, and but like other people who were like there are like other players that also were victims of Cinnpie that have told their story.
Yeah, it's like I guess it's also another reminder that while majority of the cases will be like, or well, not will be, but like are caused by men, like women also can be predators too. I mean, as we can see it here. Agree. So
what I find like is disgusting is when it's like if you take a look at Pepe's like a Pepe's tweet about what happened, then you take a look at some of the replies, like some people like some people say like, oh dude, you're so lucky, I wish that happened to me when I was 14. No, like that is disgusting. Like why would you say that? I actually can't fathom like what goes through people's minds when they say stuff like that. It's I just can't, like, I don't know. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think like I think it might have been Mr. R. I saw a tweet from him. It was just like it was pretty blunt, but it was just like saying that like all these Smash players who are like doing all these things or like supporting these abusers, like, and thinking that like this kind of like sexual like these sexual encounters are okay. It's like just like it's like you're supposed to just be enjoying watching or playing a video game. This isn't like, keep that stuff out of the community. Just like, honestly, like, I honestly feel like the fact that some people are so consumed by a video game that, like, their understanding of, like, of how to handle like in person,
Like real life
real life
issues.
issues, like, they're just such a disconnect, like,
Yeah.
and people think this stuff is okay because, like, because apparently this stuff is, like, all over the place, is rampant, just like people are like, you know, people are justifying it in their minds because they see other people doing it and think it's okay because that's just what they know within their own world. So yeah, it's messed up. And the people, I mean, that's, the Cinnpie situation and a bunch of these other situations. It is what it is. It's just sexual predation, and doesn't matter if it's, doesn't matter if it's the victim's a male or a female, or, or any gender or any, association or label you put yourself as. It's just like, you need to understand this shouldn't be complicated. When you're a young minor, when you're immature, you cannot have the same, like, logic, understanding, and give consent, because you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand the severity of like what's going on. So it's up to the adults to be responsible, understand that these people, these youths cannot make these connections, and abstain from such behavior. So anyway, now that we've talked about all those cases, we've actually gone a lot longer than I thought we would. Granted, a lot of it's kind of just been rambling, because once again, I said at the beginning of the podcast, it's hard to piece together, our thoughts and words kind of on the fly, because all this stuff is very recent. We didn't have much time to prepare. But I do want to talk about other notable smashers, ones who aren't connected in any way to these allegations or this inappropriate behavior, and talk about, like, their responses to what's been going on. And, like, it's just for me personally, like, that's probably what's got me the most. Like, last night, just reading all these reactions and responses from other smashers, and, like, it's so heartbreaking. I watched Dark Wizzy's stream and Void's stream last night. Did you happen to see either of those? I know it's pretty late, but did you happen to catch either of those?
I wasn't able to watch the streams. I've been solely just reading and catching up on Twitter because it was going by so fast.
Yeah, that's understandable. It was super late for me too. I'm not really. It was, like, literally like 5 a.m. for me. But Dark Wizzy and Void both were talking about, like, gave their immediate reactions and thoughts about mostly about the Nairo situation, but I guess also they talked about Keitaro and D1 and all that stuff. And it was, like, just, like, they were both in tears, like, just so shocked and, like, and saddened by the fact that, someone or some people that, like, they were good, like, previously good friends with, and, like, seeing that. And I don't know if it might have been implied that, particularly with Void, I feel like that he may have heard some of these rumors about Nairo, but, like, it's such a hard situation, because, like, Void, like, as he would attest to, like, he was best friends with Nairo, and so hearing these rumors, like, can you, like, he would have to, like, he would have to, like, destroy the career and life and livelihood of his best friend, and, like, something, like, and for, like, at the time when this happened, like, I don't, like, Void, even his own person, like, his own, like, it could have affected his own career and livelihood too, and it's such a hard decision to make. And ultimately, he obviously he didn't speak up about this at the time, and didn't really speak up about it until until yesterday. And I'm sure he's torn up about that, because he knows that he probably should have, if he had actual evidence and like knew that this stuff was going on. But it's a hard situation, and both Void and Samsora have both expressed guilt and sadness over this whole situation, that they could have done better. I'm sure it's hard for them, knowing that they lost a good friend, someone was close to them before, and they were complicit in all this. Like, okay, when I say complicit, I'm not trying, like, I don't mean that like they were they were okay with any of this stuff happening, but I mean like they either didn't know at all, or like if they may have heard rumors about it, they weren't sure of that and didn't speak up about it, both because either they weren't sure if they were true, or if because it would it would severely hurt someone that they thought they were close to at the time. So it's hard to see them, all of them have to come to grips with what's going on. But yeah, it's hopefully, I'm hoping so hard, fingers crossed, that all the people who are like at the moment, in the clear of all this stuff, like they have nothing to hide. We're talking about like Void, Samsora, MK Leo, Dark Wizzy, Mars, like all the top players who were like all the personalities and players that are still left. I'm really hoping that they don't have anything to hide and nothing comes out about them, so that we can turn to them now, and hopefully they can rise up and become the the pillars of the community that we hope, that we deserve, that we should have. Sorry, I know I'm talking a lot. I don't like.
It's okay. It's like there's a lot to talk about. I'm just like hoping for I'm hoping for the future of this community, and like how we can learn and improve with like during this turning point, like I said before. Like it really saddens me that it took this much to make us realize that there's definitely something wrong in this community, and like we're only taking action for it now. But at the same time, the fact that we are going to improve and make sure that this will never happen again, like I'm hopeful for that.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think at least though for at least a few months, I imagine that a lot of these stories and stuff coming out, it's not going to help. Like more, it's probably going to be very off-putting, and rightfully so, to a lot of people who like who are just starting, who like want to start, like who want to join this competitive Smash community. Like, I mean, just seeing all these terrible stories and thinking like, oh well, I want nothing to do with that. So I'm like, they're not wrong. Like, people definitely do not want to be part of stuff like this. So, but hopefully, competitive Smash as a whole, like its image, can get better once once a lot of these bad figures are gone from the community. We can go move forward, and get better and improve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I hope that like in the future that we become a community that newcomers can feel welcomed and won't be afraid. Like honestly, no one should be like afraid to just to play a game. Like that shouldn't even happen in the first place. And it's oh my god, I don't know, man. Like it just baffles me, like,
yeah, I think
that we have to do this.
Yeah, I think our difficulty to express the things we're feeling right now, it's very apparent that the stuff's still hitting hard. We're still trying to process it, and hopefully, hopefully we get a better idea, and hopefully by the next episode we can, we can start talking about, the positive things about Smash again. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate too, because we were, for this episode, I was really hoping and looking forward to talking about patch 8.0 and Min Min, but yeah, it just didn't feel. It wouldn't feel right to like shift focus off of what matters. So I think it's we'll put that off for until next time, and then hopefully next time things will have improved, and we can look at this with a more positive outlook. So I think we're about good to wrap up soon. Is there any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Yeah. To anyone who has experienced like any type of this stuff and like hasn't come out about it, like please do not be afraid to do so. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it anyway, then you're not obligated to. It's completely your choice. And to those who have already come out with their stories, then you are extremely brave, and I am proud of you for doing so. Like, you're getting these terrible people out of our community, and that's what's needed right now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, so I think hopefully, while I feel like it's without question that what we're going through right now, we're definitely in Smash's darkest hour, I feel like. But I think this is something that needed to have happened.
Yeah.
And I guess hopefully there is, as there usually is, there's always a light at the end of the darkness. So hopefully hopefully you get through this all right. And that's going to be our show. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.